Real estate rejection. Is it real and what can we do about it? Hi there. My name is Tamara Dorris. I'm your real estate coach. And this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart because whether you want to acknowledge it or not, rejection and the fear of rejection, two different things. And we're going to kind of unpack them here. So hopefully I can help you with this dilemma that you might not even realize is a dilemma. So first of all, we've got to go back into the caveman days and we've got to look at where in our brains rejection occurred and how it impacted us. So back in the days when we were not just cavemen, but in tribes, in groups, I mean, way back before the internet, if you were outed from your group, that was like the worst crime of all, or the worst punishment of all, I should say. So if you were kicked out of a group, if you were ousted, if you were like, get out of here, just short of being stoned to death, it was as bad as things got. Why? Because the tribe, the village, the group, that's where you were assured food and protection from the elements and friendship. So being ostracized or turned out of a group meant death. It meant you would perish. Okay? So when we think about rejection, our premortal brain, our primitive brain, goes immediately to rejection being outcast. And the way that the human brain was designed, being outcasted is just among the worst things for its survival possible. So inside your brain, whether you realize it or not, there is a portion, a part of you that is deathly afraid of being rejected. And this plays out in our friends, in our families, in our relationships, and our business. In our business, we don't want that rejection. And people will go to great lengths, even if it's subconscious, to not have to face that ordeal. But let's really look at what rejection is, and then let's kind of unpack it in a way that I think will really be helpful. More often than not, with real estate, it's the fear of rejection that holds you back. What do I mean by that? I mean the things that you could do to take your business forward, such as videos, calling past clients, calling leads, knocking on doors, if that's what you do. Now, in my program in magnetic marketing, we don't cold call, but there certainly is the possibility that you'd like to do that. Like if you're doing an open house or something like that, I might say, well, let's do some flyers and go around and invite the neighbors. And that could be deemed as a form of cold calling. But if I say those things and it makes you get a knot in your stomach, it's not because you hate people. It's because you have a fear of rejection. Okay? That's not rejection itself. It's the fear of being rejected. So here's the first thing I want to say about it. And I tell this to all my real estate students for years and years now. And that is that people spend more time thinking about their baby toenail than they do about you. It's just a sad fact of life that everyone is the star in their own play. Everyone is following their own script in their own movie. And you are just a supporting character or an extra. Okay? So when you appear in someone else's script, it's not the center stage. That's not how they see it. You're just kind of an extra. So think about all of the importance that you assign to, let's just say, picking up the phone and making a call. You assign so much importance to it, like, what are they thinking? What if they don't like me? What if they hang up on me? And you're just stressing yourself out. And the person on the other end of the phone is either going to hang up or talk to you, right? So at the end of the day, what we have to realize first and foremost is that if someone doesn't want to hear from you, they won't answer the phone, right? And now we have caller ID, and that's kind of a thing now. People just don't answer the phone. Think about if you are sitting in your home, watching TV, and you see a couple of strangers in suits walking up, and you're going to be like, oh God, what are they selling? Are you going to run and open the door, open arm, and say, come on in, guys, and have some lemonade? No, you are not. You are going to close the blinds and hide under the couch or behind a table or something. Now, you may be one of those rare souls who are like, yeah, I'll answer the door and see what they have to say. And upon answering the door and seeing what they have to say, you may engage in conversation. Good for you. Or you may be like, no, thanks, not interested, and shut the door in their face. Now, whatever of those three you chose, to hide and not answer, to answer and engage, or to answer, engage, and reject. None of that had to do with that person. You did not go back in your living room and write a long journal entry about, oh my gosh, that person, they had brown hair and they talked like this and they said that. No, it like goes in and out of your brain that quickly. This is what I want you to remember about when you reach out to other people. If they're not interested in what you have to say, they're going to shut you down. It doesn't mean they hate you. It doesn't mean you have a bad haircut. It doesn't mean that you were, raised poorly. It just means they were not interested in what you have to say. Now, one of the things that I teach my agents which is called magnetic marketing, has to do with the fact that we're never putting ourselves out there in a way that rejects us, because all we're doing is making friends, like on social media, networking, making friends naturally, not forced, very authentic, but natural, and providing information. And we're not doing it in the kind of situation that causes a person to want to say no. So you do a video on 7 things you need to know about living in XYZ city, right? Or you do a Facebook Live, or you start a Facebook group about, something hyper local. These are things that you do that people don't have to engage in. But if they engage, if they're watching your videos, if they're joining your Facebook group, if they're connecting with you on Facebook, you're not trying to sell them anything. You're just being having a connection with them. That is what this is all about. It's attracting people into your tribe, into your group, into your social media sphere, if you will, and providing information. You may do a post about 7 things you need to know to winterize your home, or you may do a video on the great benefits of living in XYZ city. But you're not going down and tracking them down and knocking on the door and saying, have you watched this? Right? So the fear of doing those kinds of marketing activities, the fear of rejection about that is really unfounded, because you're only going to attract to you people that are interested in that message. So do you see the difference in cold calling, knocking on someone's door and saying, do you want to buy a house for me? Slam the door in your face. I would get scared of that too. I mean, I haven't done that in almost 30 years, right? Because back in the day, that's what we had to do. The point being that, number one, you don't have to put yourself in that position. So there's nothing to be rejected about if you're putting out content. That's what agents in magnetic marketing are doing. We're putting out content. At the same time, we're working on the mindset around it, and we're working with a heart of service. So here's the difference. If you're selling something, you stand the risk and the chance of being rejected because you are selling something. You are saying to someone else, would you like to buy this? Would you like to work with me? And that's going to give them the opportunity to say yes or no. And a lot of times it's going to be no. Now you've been rejected. Did you die? No, that's not the point. The point is that when you are providing content, education, information, inspiration, there's nobody to say no, because you're not asking a question. Do you get that? If you're asking a question, do you want to work with me? You put people in the position where they have to say yes or no. And a lot of times it'll be no. But if you put out content, helpful, useful, educational, valuable content, you're not asking a question. You're giving an answer, not asking a question, and not putting anyone in a position where they have to say yes or no. They just are going to absorb the information, or they're not. And you're not going to hear about it either way until and unless they're ready to work with you. Do you get it? No one's going to go on your YouTube channel and say, oh my gosh, how could you talk about the city like that? Nobody is going to do that. If they're watching your YouTube videos, if they're reading your posts, they're doing it because they want the information and the education. So there's really no risk involved. And yet we still have this issue with fear of rejection. Rejection of what? Rejection of what? Of providing valuable content for people who might need it? That doesn't even work in the equation of what rejection is. So when you shift your mindset from sales, getting a yes or no, to service, here's my buffet if you'd like it, contact me, right? You're not even saying, tell me yes or no now. You're just putting it out there, right? You're putting your contact information, a link to your website, a link to your home search site, whatever, and all the stuff that you do. on your videos, on your Facebook posts, on your LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever you do, and it's just there for the taking. And if people find you to be valuable enough and to be in alignment, in other words, they resonate with you and your message and the way you work, the way you talk, because trust me, everyone isn't for everyone. There are people out there that are not for you, right? Some people may think I'm too, I don't know, too hyper or talk too fast or get too excited. And that's okay, because if people that didn't want to work with someone like me, it wouldn't be happy for either of us, right? They wouldn't like me and I wouldn't like working with them. So I guarantee you, however you are, your personality, your style, your language, whatever it is, there's going to be people that resonate with you and like the way you work. So in summary, nobody is thinking about you as much as they are. When you're providing service, education, information, there's no room for rejection. If they don't like what you're doing, they're just going to keep scrolling. They're not going to sit down and dedicate 10 minutes like you have so far, if you're still here, to watching this video. They're not going to do it. There's no rejection. They're just like not interested. So the last thing, as I sum this up, I want you to think about is when someone tries to sell you versus when someone tries to serve you. Think about it. Someone knocks on your door, we've already established you're going to like do one of those three things. But if you're a normal person, a normal, well-adjusted adult human being, when someone calls you and says, hi, I noticed you're on my website and looking at homes, and I just wondered if there was something I could help you with. The person that you're calling is going to be just as nervous to say no to you as you are to be said no to. Think about that, because they don't want to be rude. Most nice human beings don't want to be rude. You know, some jerks will say, don't call me anymore. And you're like, okay, dude, you were on my website, but whatever. Forget those people. But those other people, they don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. If anything, they feel guilty that they run your website and they already have an agent, right? So they're not in a rejecting mood to you, even if they hang up on you. They're just in their own life, in their own script. Okay? So you're only being of service. You're not trying to sell. You're not asking a yes or no question. You're saying, here's some content, here's some information, here's some homes available in the area for under 500K. What can I help you with? If I can help you, let me know. Boom. That's all you're doing. You're being of service. So tattoo this on the inside of your forehead and your eyelids. I am of service. And never again shall I ever, ever, ever fear the idea of rejection, because I'm not putting myself in the position to be rejected and feeling as if I might get rejected from doing some videos or doing some lives or doing an Instagram reel is just plain silly, because if people don't like it, they're just going to scroll past it. I hope that helps. If you're interested, in the links below, I'm introducing my free class. And if you've already watched that, underneath that link is my $27 class. Great, great value for 27 bucks. I'm going to tell you right now. If I can help you, let me know. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thanks for watching.